I would love to speak to a Frank Sinatra fan who was offended by what happened at the Grammys.
I'm sure you'll get some calls.
I would really like to speak to that person. Yes, you're on the air.
Hey, Howard, how you doing?
I'm not doing well. I'll tell you why.
Why is that?
As long as you're asking how I'm doing, and I get that question a lot from callers. In fact, most callers, that's all they want to ask me is how I'm doing.
No, I wanted to ask you more than that.
And for the most part, what I usually say is, why are you calling me to ask me how I'm doing? What? But I'm going to tell you how I'm doing. I'm not doing very well. I'll tell you why. The hypocrisy in this country is unbelievable. I got a hot fax yesterday, Robin.
On your home fax?
On my home fax. And I want to make you all aware of the FCC and what they're up to against me now. In this continuing battle to make sure I don't say penis on the airwaves.
They have new shenanigans?
So, recently the FCC was going after another station in Chicago because I think the guy said duty or something on the air. And they were in court over the case. You know, I've been waiting a long time to get into court over my case.
How did they get into court?
I don't know, but they were in court, and the FCC dropped everything against them. Just decided out of the clear blue, okay, we're going to drop everything.
It wasn't indecent. We forgot.
Yeah, we forgot. It's not indecent. So that says to me, well, how serious are you about all of this? You find another station, you took them all the way to court, you find them, you hassle them, and then you drop everything. So how serious are you really about this? What are you doing back there? You asked me how I am, I'm telling you. Now you're going to put on your radio?
What?
Oh, he's not even listening.
All right, thank you for the call.
Hey, Howard.
You're not even listening to me. Maybe I'm boring.
Why did you ask a question?
Why'd you ask me how I'm doing? I started to tell you, and you're not even listening.
Well, I'm sorry, Howard. I just
You're a creep.
What?
I said you're a creep.
Oh, man. I'm your biggest fan out here.
You should hear that. No, you're not. You're not my biggest fan. You asked me how I was doing, and I was being honest and telling you how I was doing, and then you start you're playing pinball. You sound like you're building an addition to your house back there while you're talking about it.
I heard you talking
about it. And I could understand, after the earthquake, you might have to build an addition to your house, but for God's sakes, don't do it on my time. Don't call me and then start building in the background.
All right. I just wanted to know if you did the Playboy interview yet, Howard. That's all.
Well, now I'm going to stop my discussion of how I'm doing to answer that question.
Thank you.
I did the Playboy interview. As a matter of fact, I believe... Now, they told me...
I believe today is the day you could talk about it.
Yeah, this Playboy is nuts. They send me over a copy of Playboy, and they say, this is the one you're in. And I read it. It's a very good interview by Marshall Fine. I got to admit, I was a little vicious. But he caught me in a bad mood. This guy had to interview me for 6 hours. According to him, every person who does the Playboy interview has to be interviewed for 6 hours. I don't believe Jimmy Carter was interviewed for 6 hours. I don't believe it. But I was interviewed for 6 hours. By the time this guy was 2 or 3 hours into it, I was rambling. I was like Frank Sinatra.
6 hours straight?
No, I broke it down. I broke it down over a week or something. It was torture. It was absolute torture. Who has time for that?
6 hours straight would really turn anybody into an animal.
And I was at a particularly busy time. We were writing the pay-per-view special, and there was just a lot going on.
Book promotion and everything.
Book promotion. I was out every day. I had no time for this.
Yeah, I enjoyed your...
So when you read the Playboy interview...
You're not listening again.
I'm listening.
Why'd you ask me about the Playboy interview? Are you going to talk about my book? Okay, go ahead. What about my book?
I just wanted to say I stayed overnight for your Pasadena book signing, and just see you and meet you.
All right, okay.
That was much more interesting than what he was saying. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. All right, listen to me. What do you want to hear about? You want to hear how I am? You want to hear about the Playboy interview? Or you want to talk about the book signing in Pasadena?
Your Playboy interview.
Okay.
Sorry to sidetrack you.
No, just keep doing it. Listen, I got news for you. I don't let guys like you bother me anymore. You know what I'm going to do? I realize I'm signed up for 4 hours every morning here. I'll sit here for 4 hours. I don't care. Whatever happens. You want to ask questions? I'll sit here and let you ask questions.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And then when all right, goodbye.
You did it. You just wore out your
imbecile. What a dope. I'll tell you, Robin. Pretend you asked me about the Playboy interview. So
what about your Playboy interview?
Because I read the Playboy interview. It was done by a guy named Marshall Fine. He's a real good writer, and he did a good interview, even though I was a pain in the ass. I gave him a hard time. But then I get a note from Playboy. Here is your Playboy interview. We would like it if you did not start talking about it till Thursday. And we would like to have a party for you. To have a big party, so we'll get a lot of press on the Playboy interview. So I called them up. I said, I don't want a party. I said, what kind of... What do you mean? Why would I have a party? Because I got an interview in Playboy. And why do I care if you sell one friggin' magazine? What's in it for me? I'm not going to get anything out of it. Why would I sit there? They want to have a party for me so that they'll get a lot of press about me being in the Playboy interview. I said, are you guys high? I said, you didn't pay me for this. I said, what am I going to have a party because you guys wrote an article about me? I look like a retard. Who has a party because you're in an article? I never heard of such nonsense. That doesn't ring true to me. What is that? What do you mean a party because I had an article?
I only heard that they had requested to have a party, and I didn't even remember that you had done the interview, so I thought it was awfully strange that they wanted to have a party in the first place.
Yeah, I said, but why would I want to have a party? Why don't you guys go have a party? It's your magazine. I said, look, man, don't give us a hard time. We're just trying to, say we'd like to give you a party. I said, I don't want a party. I hate parties. They said, well, then why are you being so difficult? Why don't you want to promote the magazine? I go, no, I could care less. I don't care if anyone buys it.
But if you were going to promote the magazine, what better vehicle than sitting right here?
Right.
What's a party going to do that this can't?
I said a lot of mean stuff. I said all nice stuff about you. Did you read it?
I haven't read it yet, no.
Yeah, you should be happy with what I said about you. And who the hell knows? I was in a coma. I could have just as easily said something weird. I was not responsible for it.
Well, then these must be your true feelings.
Yeah, the guy wore me down. And I do want to apologize in advance to John Tesh of Entertainment Tonight.
Here we go, trying to make friends.
Well, listen, I happen to like the guy.
I've been watching John the last couple of nights. I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah, I know. I do, too. And I like the guy. When I did the Playboy interview 3 months ago, I was locked in a room for 6 hours, and they asked me about John Tesh with those stupid tapes that him and his wife sell, and I got a little out of my mind. And plus, Marshall Fine was dripping water on my forehead. But so I got a letter saying that I'm allowed to talk about the Playboy interview now if I want to. For some reason, they have some kind of marketing plan. I guess Playboy is on the stands now. I don't know. With me in it. I don't know if it is or isn't. It's a yellow cover with a girl with a little half shirt. You can see the bottom of her breasts.
Oh, that's allowed now?
Yeah, evidently. But I'm sorry to the people at Playboy if I didn't want to have a party. I know they're very upset about this.
Is that right?
Yeah, they're very disturbed that I don't want to have a party. I couldn't see why I'd want to have a party. Because
I would think, Marshall Fine might want to have a party.
Yeah, Marshall Fine he finally got a job outside of Westchester Gannett newspapers. He's a very good writer, though. He's at least pleasant. He at least interviewed me from the perspective of someone who wanted to learn something about me, not someone who wanted to attack me.
Argue.
Yeah, and he wasn't arguing with me. He just asked me questions. It was really a pleasure to do. If it hadn't been so friggin' long. If you're going to throw a party for someone, throw a party for John Tesh. Right, Playboy? Right. Well, I was talking about the FCC, but now the spirit has left me.
Well, you were going to tell me you didn't even, because of that guy, you got completely cut off before you could even tell me what they were up to now.
All right, let me take a break. I'll tell you what the FCC is up to right after these.